Hey guys! So today I was originally planning to do a foundation routine for kind of a dewy, glowy, springtime freshness look. Yes, all of those things. And then it kind of just evolved into doing a little bit of an eye color and then lip. So the whole look is very fresh and it's very, you can see from my skin, it's extremely dewy and it doesn't feel oily though, so you get that fresh-faced, youthful kind of glow without feeling like you're gonna melt. So I think this would be a great look for springtime since it's getting a little bit warmer out, and I hope you guys like it. So I'm gonna put my hair back so that people don't yell at me, because it always seems to be a big deal if your hair is not out of your face when you're putting on makeup. First thing I'm gonna do is use this Laura Mercier primer in Radiance. I really love this. Oh, little much. I'm using it on this Sigmax brush, round top kabuki. I'm kind of dot it around and then blend it in. This is a really awesome primer, especially if you have drier skin, because it gives this really nice glow. If you're a fan of matte face, you won't like this. Now I'm going to use my foundation. I'm using the MAC Match Master. The color I have is 1.0. I love this foundation. I'm just going to use that the same brush. Again, just pat it evenly around and then just blend it into the skin. I don't want to go overboard with the actual foundation color, so I'm really not using that much. If there's areas that need a little bit more coverage, like right over here, not my hair, then I'm going to go over it with my concealer, but I don't want my face to feel heavy, so I'm not really putting that much foundation on. So now I'm going to use my concealer, and the concealer I love right now is the Dermablend Smooth Indulgence Concealer, and I am the shade Nude, so I'm going to go in with Mini Me. I love these precision brushes. I cannot talk about them enough. From Sigmax, this is the Precision Round. It's basically the smaller version of the one I use for my foundation. I drop stuff all over again. And it's just really nice because it's kind of like a fingertip, so it's easy to use to apply concealer. So I'm just going to press this on top of any problem areas, first of all. And then I'm just going to use this brush to diffuse it out so that it just kind of melts away, so that the heaviest coverage is right over the blemish or the dark spots, as mine are. And then it just kind of diffuses out like I'm photoshopping with the blur tool. So you can see I just kind of am bouncing this off of this area right here. When if you saw my Sunday video, this was where my face really broke out and was crazy from the Neutrogena Acne Redness Relief product. So there's a lot of acne, post-acne marks over here, so that's why I'm just kind of dotting it all around. But the main thing is I'm just kind of bouncing it off the skin right on the red spot, and then outside of it, just lightly, very lightly blending it out and away. So that way you can't really tell where the concealer begins and ends and it doesn't look heavy. For underneath my eyes, I like to correct and deflect. So I'm going to use my Eve Pearl Salmon Concealer. I have this in light. I love this. It's amazing, and it's just a salmon colored concealer, so it kind of neutralizes the dark circles underneath your eyes. And I'm using this precision tapered brush. You can see what it looks like. So I'm just picking up a little bit on the side of it, placing the majority of the concealer right under the tear ducts. That's where it's darkest for me. And then I just flip it over to the side that doesn't have anything on it and just really lightly pull the concealer out to just cover the dark circles, because if you put this concealer on an area that is not dark like that, you'll be able to see it, since obviously this is not my skin tone. So again, just pick it up a little bit, apply it right under the tear duct, flip over the brush, just really lightly bring it down. Now once that's on, I need to color correct it a little bit. So I just use a combination of two things. I love Benefit Ooh La Lift, which it has a little bit of a shimmer to it, so it kind of helps to brighten the eye area. And then I love Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat. I use number 2. So what I do is I just kind of pick it up with this brush, pick the Ooh La Lift up, sort of mix the color on my hand, and then just apply it with the brush. So I use it underneath the dark circles too, a little bit, so you can see my dark circles end like right there, and I'm just kind of pulling it down along the cheekbone just to further brighten up that area. You can use a brush for this. I'm just going to use my fingers to really lightly pat it in, because the warmth from my fingers will help this kind of blend into the skin a little bit better, instead of having it just sit on top and it can kind of look like it's creating fine lines. So now I like to set my foundation, especially if I'm doing a video. I think it's really important to set it, because right now it might look a little bit like oily, more oily than it actually is, because I have all these lights in my face. So my favorite powder foundation is Mineralized Skin Finish from MAC. This is in light, so I just use a big brush like this, tap away the extra, shake it out, tap it off, and just lightly go over my whole face. If you don't need to powder your whole face, then don't. You can just powder areas that usually get oily quick, like your nose, forehead. Okay, so now on to cheeks, cheeky cheeks. I'm going to do bronzer first. I've said this before, I always do this, or contouring. I like to use an angled brush or a very small one like this, just a little bit better precision. This is MAC 168, I believe. And the one I'm going to use today is Lancome Star Bronzer, and it's matte. That's the main thing I look for in bronzers, is something that is matte. I'm going to get out my brush, tap away the extra, maybe brush it out on my hand a little bit just to make sure that I'm not going to get this crazy streak all over my face. And then starting right at the ear, I'm just going to really lightly, I'm holding my brush handle pretty far back so that I'm not like digging it into my skin. I want the majority of the color to be by the hairline, and then just gradually pull it in. I just slightly do it underneath the jaw. Usually it's just whatever is left on the brush. And if you get it so that it tends to grab, mine usually doesn't do this. I don't think I put enough powder on. An easy solution to that is to just take your powder and just go over it. Same with if you get too much blush on. You can just kind of neutralize it out a little bit. So for my blush color, I've actually never tried this one, but the technique would be the same. I'm really excited to try it though. This is the Benefit Hervana. I got this 2 weeks ago, last week. So I'm going to use a dual fiber brush, but you can use any type of brush you want. I just want a bigger one because since it looks like this, I want to be able to pull all the colors together instead of just getting more or less of one. So then the way I do this is I start apples of the cheeks. If you need to, you can smile. Just brush it on and pull it up. So then for a highlighter, I really love this Stardust from Laura Mercier, and it's a loose powder and it's really shimmery. So I like to use it with this brush. I love this Inglot brush. It's like Max 224 but a lot bigger. It's their 4SS, and so what I do is I just pick up a little bit with the brush, tap it away, and then I place it right underneath the eyes, onto the cheekbone, and then kind of around the side of the nose. Not on the nose though. Okay, and take the hair down, and then of course just some mascara. It's always interesting to me how much mascara changes. I mean, just even curling your lashes. Not even eyeliner, not anything else. For lower lashes, I always like to kind of look down and just barely touch them so that it doesn't get mascara on underneath, like on the skin. If you have eyeshadow on, the best thing you can do is just let the mascara dry and then it should just flake away. If you don't and you get like a bunch of little marks like I kind of did, what I like to do, just take a Q-tip, some eye makeup remover that is not oil-based. The oil-based ones are the ones you have to shake. This is the one from MAC, just the Pro Eye Makeup Remover, and I love that for these kind of things. You can just kind of go over and close your eyes and just drag it along the lash line, and then that'll clean up any mess. And I mean, that takes 2 seconds and it just changes. It makes everything look a lot cleaner. And then something else I'm just going to do, I like to do this after mascara for some reason. These Urban Decay 24/7 shadow pencils in Sin, this one is awesome. And literally, you just color your eyelid. And they last all day. And that's it. And it really just kind of, it's very subtle, but it's still pretty. But with these, make sure you keep the cap on really tight, otherwise they will dry out and it sucks. It's happened to me because this was a set and I like this one too. This is Juju. And I just like to add this in the outer corner. Very subtle. And if that is still too subtle for you, you can be matchy-match like I am today and use just a little color. This one is called Clash BT Dubs. I'm just putting it right underneath the lashes. This one actually is kind of dried out. You can see what I'm talking about. So see how it kind of like, I can move it. I mean, it still works, but that's what happens. And then finally for lips, I'm just going to use my Revlon Lip Butter in Peach Parfait. This is like my favorite lip color lately because it's like my lips but better. It's a little darker, but I like it. And since these are moisturizing, unless you really want a glossy look, you don't really need a lip gloss. Alright, and so that's all. This kind of turned into a tutorial when it meant to just be for foundation, but it's all good. Alright, I will talk to you guys later. Bye!